Hey guys, Julia here, and today we have another episode of Cooking with JK. Today I'll be showing you guys stir-fried beef with bell peppers. This is one of my favorite dishes when I was younger. My mom would make it for me, and I remember the first time that she made it for me is, I don't know actually, I have a very terrible memory. So a little bit about the stir-fried beef with bell peppers. I like beef. Beef is my choice of meat because you can eat the beef a little bit red and you're gonna be completely fine. Chicken and pork, I'm not that big of a fan of because I've had uncooked chicken and I've had a little bit of a raw pork and my stomach hated me forever. So I would go with beef because that's like the safest thing that you can go with. And bell peppers, I got these ones right here. They're actually pretty safe. Bell peppers are just here for, just to make it a little bit more healthy, more color, adds a little crunch to this dish. So let's get started. How you make stir-fried beef with bell peppers is you first need to have your beef. I already have some that's cut up and I already put it in a Ziploc bag. Usually you want to use the beef flank. I actually got beef round and I tried it out a little bit like yesterday. It's not the same, but you should take the beef flank because it gives a very nice texture that I want, that's kind of slightly, like, it's easy to eat. It's like you can like tear it a little. Get the beef flank and then some bell peppers. It's your choice. I just like a little variety in color. So I got a green, red, and orange one. They didn't have any yellow ones in season, but I like to have these combination right here. Or if you're just a fan of all red, you can do that too, or all green. That works too. But I just like a little variety just to mix it up because they give like a kind of a sweet, crunchy texture. Next, you need ginger, garlic, you need some salt, some sesame oil, soy sauce, grapeseed oil, vegetable oil to cook. You got brown sugar, and you have tapioca starch. You can use tapioca starch or you can use cornstarch. My preference is just tapioca starch because I've been using it all my life. So first, we're gonna prepare the meat. I'm just gonna take like one slice that's this big because it's just only for one person. But if you guys are cooking for multiple, please use like a bigger piece, like maybe 2 more of these. But I'm not that huge of a meat eater, so you know what? I'll just use this piece right here. This is the fatter piece right here. I'll use that. Put this to the side. So with this, you guys want to cut pretty thin slices so that it soaks up all the nice flavor. I got my typical Chinese vegetable knife right here going on that I like to use to cut my meat as well. So you guys want to kind of cut it something along the lines of this. So I remember the time when my mom made this, she would actually usually make it with pork, but there was a time where she made it with beef because we didn't have any other meat at home. And so I remember when she used it with beef, I just absolutely fell in love with it. And I've always loved vegetables when I was a younger kid because we cooked our vegetables and the vegetables taste a lot better when it's cooked, and like we stir fry it too, and stir frying tastes absolutely delicious on cooked vegetables. I remember in high school I started cooking. My mom just started teaching me how to cook several types of dishes, like Napa cabbage stir fry with a bit of pork in there. This is actually one of the favorite dishes that I've learned from her that I'm going to teach you guys because I think this would be a great meal when you guys are either home alone or you guys are out in college. It's really not that difficult and it's pretty fast to prep. You just need to make sure you have all your ingredients. Ever since I started working with JK, I don't really cook as often just because we're always like working, or when we're not working, we're actually all eating out together. So I actually haven't been cooking for a very long time. So the cooking that I'm going to be doing today is cooking that I've done in maybe like 3-4 years. It's a really long time. So let's just see how much I actually really remember how to cook this. Now that you finished cutting your meat, you want to go ahead and grab a bowl right here. Put the meat in here. And then what you want to do is you want to get your tapioca starch. What this starch does is it kind of gives a nice smooth coating around the meat. So when you stir fry it, it kind of keeps the meat a little moist and a little more intact. So all of these measurements you pretty much eyeball. Like this looks like it can use a little more for the amount of meat. You guys can have fun and experiment with this because really it should tailor to your taste. Because I know some people, they don't like to have that thick coating, so they only put a little, but like I kind of do. This is like a really tiny ass spoon, look at this. So maybe like a spoonful of like tapioca starch. And then we're gonna use a little bit of sesame oil so that it helps the cornstarch kind of glue. Oh, that might be a little too much. But glue in the meat together, and then a little bit of soy sauce for flavor. Usually my mom, she likes to put a little bit of chicken bouillon or like MSG in this, but I don't really have any. So I'm just gonna make do with some sesame oil, some soy sauce, a little bit of salt, and I'm gonna put a little bit of this grapeseed oil, which I think I have a little bit more right here. Alright, and then after you get something like this, then you just use your hands and you just kind of want to just mix it in. Ooh. Oh, this smells so good. The sesame oil makes me just want to go ahead and eat it right now. And then when you see something like this type of consistency, where you see this, the tapioca starch isn't too thick on the meat, we're going to put this off to the side and let it sit there and marinate. And I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hands. So next, I'm going to cut the ginger. And what this ginger does is that it kind of gives a zingy taste and a zingy flavor into this dish. And I love ginger, so I'll probably like put maybe 3-4 pieces in it. Maybe just 2 because I'm only making a small portion. But just slice your ginger like this. Sometimes I like to chop it up, but I'll just keep it like this. Next, you just need garlic, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm not that huge of a fan of garlic. Garlic bread is okay, I like it. I just don't like whole garlic. I don't know how people can eat whole garlic. And I remember when I was making this in high school, I was telling myself like, man, you know, whenever you cook on your own, like don't ever add garlic in it because it just sucks. Like I don't like the flavor. Sometimes like, you know, when you eat your stir-fried dish, like there's a piece of garlic that just surprises you out of nowhere and it just makes everything taste all funny. I don't know. That's how garlic tastes to me, and that's how it surprised me, and I didn't like it. But when I went off to college and I cooked this by myself, I was like, you know, the garlic really needs to be in there. You can't really go wrong with it. So I'll just add it in just for flavor, but like I won't eat it. It's kind of weird how that goes, because you know when you're younger you're like, man, when I grow up I'm never gonna do this, or I'm never gonna add this in there. But look at me adding garlic. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and like smash it so it releases all this flavor, and I'm just gonna put it right there. And only one, because again, I'm not that huge of a fan of garlic. So next we're gonna go ahead and cut the bell peppers. I like to start off with the top on the bottom, and then I like to just cut it in the middle like this. And then what I like to do, so I'm gonna get a bowl here, is crack it open like this, grab the bell pepper seeds inside like this, and just peel it off like that. So you're gonna end up with a bell pepper that's pretty empty like this. So after you cut this in half, I'm gonna go ahead and cut these into smaller pieces. And this is actually like a great food to make when you're out at a party, or if it's like a potluck. You know, you can impress all your friends, be like, yeah, I made this. It looks a little fancy, you know, but you can impress people and wow them with your amazing cooking. So the last time I think I cooked for a party of people, was probably at Bart and Gio's house when they did either their housewarming or if we were just all having a movie night. I think I made bell peppers again too, but usually I actually like to make desserts because desserts are delicious. But since, you know, desserts are gonna take a long time, I'm just gonna show you guys how to make something quick. There you go. So we got our bell peppers and we got our meat right here. Gonna go ahead and heat up my frying pan that I've had forever. Look how gross this is. That I've had forever. Go ahead and add oil. I just added enough where it can just kind of coat the pan. You guys can add as much as you want, but I just find this a bit easier when I cook the meat. I'm gonna let the oil heat up a bit, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add my gingers and my garlic. So when I add ginger and garlic into this, it's gonna help flavor the oil so that when I cook my meat and when I cook my bell peppers, it's gonna have a nice aroma to it. And it's just, you know, a little fancy, but it's just more for flavor though. And we're actually gonna keep these in here, so I think this is good enough. I can kind of see the ginger. So first, I'm gonna go ahead and add the meat in. And I'm just gonna cook it around like this. Now for pork and chicken, you guys would probably want to have it cook a little longer, but because this is beef and it cooks fairly quickly, I like to just cook it a little bit like halfway, or when it's like browning something like this, when it kind of browns like this. Don't be afraid, I know it's gonna stick a little, but it'll come off later. So your meat's gonna look like this, and at this point, I like to go ahead and add the rest of my bell peppers in here. I'm just gonna go ahead and mix it together. First, I'm gonna add some soy sauce. And then I'm gonna add some salt. And then I'm gonna add some brown sugar. And for the brown sugar, I'm just gonna, maybe like a spoonful. You don't really need that much. What I like to do is add a little bit of water. Just a little bit. You're gonna get a lid, and you wanna go ahead and cover all the bell peppers underneath so that you help it cook. So far so good, guys, because I absolutely do not really remember how to make this. So I still think that my mom makes it better than me. But you know, I'm getting there. I'm still trying to learn. So you kind of want to just let it sit there and have it simmer a little bit for about like 2 minutes, if you guys want to be exact. And just wait for as the steam just comes up. So right now it's like simmering something like this. Can't really explain it. It looks like soy sauce bubbles with oil. We're letting the bell peppers cook a little because if you just stir fry it out in the open, it's still gonna have that raw crunch. I like the crunch, but I also like it cooked crunch. So what I'm doing now is I'm just kind of, in a sense, boiling it and just like cooking the bell peppers and also the beef too, before I go ahead and open up and let all the moisture out and then continue to stir fry. Seems like it's about 2 minutes now. So I'm gonna go ahead and lift this up oh so carefully. Cool. Everything is all calm. And then from this point I like to do like a little smell test just to see if it has enough salt. I don't know if you guys have that nose, but take a whiff like so and see if it smells salty. Does that make sense? It smells pretty decent, like it smells bland. It just smells like steam, I guess, in a sense. And with like a hint of like soy sauce in it. So for me, I'll just go ahead and add just a little bit more salt. And then I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the fire because you don't want your bell peppers to be mushy, because it's not supposed to be mushy. And voila! I have my stir-fried beef with bell peppers. And then now you guys can call yourselves a master chef. Give yourself a big pat on the back. And now, you guys made your own little masterpiece. Okay guys, it is the moment of truth to see how my cooking skills of 4 years ago are today. Get some beef first. I'm gonna try the beef first. If I can get the beef. Pretty good. Maybe a little salty. The bell peppers are pretty good. These are pretty good. It has a sweet but salty, crunchy, but like very smooth texture. Every bite I take out of this bell pepper is so juicy. Not bad, Julia. I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back. There may be a slight inconsistency to it, but it's not bad for not cooking for 4 years. I'm actually pretty impressed with myself. Like, who knew? Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed this episode of Cooking with JK, and I hope you guys actually have a new dish to introduce into your life, because you know, honestly, you got your protein, you got your veggies. This is actually a pretty good meal if you ask me. So, hope you guys learned a lot and try it at home. If you do, please leave a comment down below. I would love to read it and I would love to see what you guys think of this recipe. And if you guys want to go ahead and watch more JK episodes, here.
This piece is not cutting. You can figure out what they like or not, or what you need to improve in. Cool. All the meats are cut. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna wash my hands and so I can touch other utensils. The reason why I have this giant pineapple is there's a story behind it. I used